The left has turned the jokes of yesterday into the reality of today. And, you're famous for being called a black, white supremacist or the black face of white supremacy. And we have this video that the Democrats thought was a Larry Elder documentary. So let's run that clip.
Just because I'm blind don't mean I'm dumb.
How could this have happened? A black white supremacist.
We're talking about this. Don't be afraid. Cookie and punch for us to enjoy, and we can talk about white brotherhood. Thank y'all for coming. White power!
So, Larry, that is a famous Dave Chappelle sketch that they actually think is a real life. So
that wasn't Larry?
No, that was not Larry. Can we agree that wasn't you, or was that you, Larry?
I remember that bit. No, that wasn't me, but I think it was patterned after what people said about me. By the way, why is it okay for Benny Thompson, the chair of the so-called January 6th Insurrection Committee, why is it okay for him to publicly refer to Justice Clarence Thomas as an Uncle Tom? Mm-hmm. Why is it okay for Van Jones to say after Donald Trump won in November 2016, it was white lash, even though Donald Trump got a smaller percentage of the white vote than Mitt Romney did 4 years earlier? Why is that okay? But you let some white guy like the senator from Alabama make some stupid comments about white nationalism, and he is outed as a bigot. But Van Jones is not a bigot. The people on MSNBC, hee-haw, they're not bigots. Benny Thompson calling Clarence Thomas an Uncle Tom, he's not a bigot. The woman that referred to me as the black face of white supremacy, a black female writer for the LA Times, she's not a bigot. Another Hispanic reporter with the LA Times, Jean Guerrero, referred to my views as white supremacist. That's not a problem. Tavis Smiley, the former PBS host who's black, interviewed me and referred to my views as anti-black. I said, why are my views anti-black? He said, you're against reparations. I said, 80% of Americans are against reparations. Obama's against reparations. Is he anti-black? He changed the subject. I'm just saying there's a bit of a double standard here.
Oh my gosh, the double standard is, it's insane how thick it is. I mean, the hypocrisy of these people, that's what blows my mind. We need to be the hypocrisy police and call out all these hypocrites. And they make everything about race. They make everything about, checking a box, intersectionality. And I think that is racist in itself. So what do you think about affirmative action going away?
I'll give you a big thing about race. The 4 months worth of protests we had in the streets in the summer of 2020 because of the death of George Floyd. I'm a lawyer, and I was a trial lawyer. And the most important part of a trial is the opening statement. The lead prosecutor was a black man, you might recall. And he said about Derek Chauvin, the police in general are not on trial. The Minneapolis police are not on trial. This individual is on trial for what he did or didn't do to George Floyd. And he never even implied that Derek Chauvin was motivated because of George Floyd's race, and Derek Chauvin was never charged with a hate crime. Yet you had 4 months of protests, 35 people killed, 2,000 officers injured, $2 billion of damage because of the assumption that what happened with George Floyd was because of his race, when the lead prosecutor had never even implied it. What the hell is that? That's because people like Joe Biden goes to Howard, gives a speech and says the number one threat to the homeland is white nationalism, giving people the impression that what happened to George Floyd frequently happens when in fact it is rare. In fact, the police kill more unarmed whites every year than they kill unarmed blacks, but nobody gives a rip.
No, you're exactly right. Nobody cares. But you know what is not rare, Larry? We've actually created a new recipe. Have you ever cooked a steak? You probably can't see this. We're cooking a steak in a waffle iron. This is a new recipe. I'm training. I have a professional boxing match, Larry, against a guy named Mo Dean. I'm fighting for Misfits Boxing. It's a professional boxing organization. So I've been punching this meat, and now I'm going to eat it for fuel. So before I get in the ring, before you go, Larry, can you give me some boxing tips? Like, have you ever been in a street fight? Give me some. Well, what techniques or tips would you give a young fighter?
Every inner city kid has been in street fights. I've won 4, I lost 7, I tied 1. So you don't want to get any advice from me. And the 4 ones that I won were against girls. So
what, Larry?
I'm not a good guy to give you any advice.
Okay, well, I like that. I like that. You're conscious.
Cover up. Cover up.
I am. I'm going to cover up. Okay, now, last couple, we got to give you some fact or fiction questions. First one, before I let you go. 1969 moon landing, real or fake? Fact or fiction?
No, all done in a back lot in Hollywood.
Yes! Larry, I love you. Oh, my God. I don't even want to ask him any more questions. This guy is brilliant. Larry, okay, so explain why you think it was BS.
Because my grandfather said that. I don't believe they went up there and did that, Larry. I think they just did that in Hollywood. Okay, Grandpa.
Well, you know, Bill Clinton put it in his book. You can Google this. In his book, he talks about how he was at a bar, and he was at the bar, and a crazy guy, they called him like the crazy guy in the town, said, "Oh, those astronauts are faking it. It was all shot in a movie studio." And then the next line is, "The more I got into politics, the more that guy was right." Or I'm not doing it right, but the more I believe that guy, then I believe the people in power. So, no, Larry, you're getting my vote. Everybody go to elderforpresident.com right now. We need 40,000 signups. $1 is sufficient. That counts as a donation. So please, guys, watching this show right now, go there, elderforpresident.com. Help this man right now because he's actually speaking the truth.
My grind so refined, I got no time for no games. Ask yourself